Hey everyone, this is Seth Kniep, Keeping It Real. This is the Just One Dime Show. As you guys know, we're constantly interviewing different industry experts in the world. So happy to have you guys here. Thank you guys for your patience. We're just now starting. I am very honored to have our guest here today, George Lawrence with merchantwords.com. This interview, George, is a whole lot of people who are familiar with Just One Dime have been using your keyword tool for a while. Thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure. I'm thrilled to be here.
And also, George is going to be speaking at a conference in March in Las Vegas. So as you guys know, tickets opened up for Just One Dime members only. Very soon, they'll open up for anyone, even if you're not a Just One Dime member, but Just One Dime members do get a discount. One of the speakers. And George is sort of an icon in the online keyword world. And so this is an awesome opportunity to ask questions about keywords, e-commerce, anything related to that. I've used Amazeout for a while now, which is my favorite research engine tool for finding potential products to sell on Amazon. The keyword button, it takes you to Merchant Words. Now, just so you understand, Merchant Words and Amazeout are two different companies. In a way where both work together, in Amazeout, it takes you to Merchant Words so you can find keyword global search volume on keywords. So George, could you start just by sharing your story? How did you get to the point where you built Merchant Words? And then we'll just jump right into questions.
Yeah, sure. So, I've followed your story about how you got started. It's very inspirational. And the thing of it is we have so much in common, right? Many of us, when we launch our own businesses. So my personal story is about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 now, but my daughter comes to me and she goes, Dad, she's graduated from high school. She's about ready to go to college. She says, Dad, I found this fantastic college. It's a little bit expensive though. Do you think we can afford it? And I'm like, what father wouldn't tell his daughter, of course, we'll figure out a way. Don't worry. And so I said, you just go accept that great offer and you go off to college, we'll figure out how to pay for it. And then after about a year of paying the big tuition bills, I realized that I was starting to run out of money. The college savings had all been tapped out. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not going to just not pay tuition to send my daughter to college. So let me see if I can cut some corners somewhere. So I started becoming a little bit late on my mortgage payments so I could afford to pay the tuition payments. Then all of a sudden I got the nasty grams from the mortgage company. And I'm like, well, I can't not pay my mortgage so I'll get kicked out of my house. So I went back to paying my mortgage on time, but not my daughter's tuition bills. And it went back and forth like this for a while until finally I realized that I got notices from her school saying, look, we're going to send your daughter home if you don't pay her tuition. And I got notices from my mortgage saying, look, we're going to kick you out of your house if you don't pay your mortgage. And I realized that I was headed straight for some kind of disastrous bankruptcy. So at that time, what I was doing is I was trying to make a little extra money on the side by running a very small eBay and Amazon e-commerce business. And it's great, as you know, because a lot of people get started without much capital, without much overhead. So I was doing exactly that. And my background is a computer programmer. That's my day job. So I was doing my day job and I was thinking, maybe I could use my computer skills to figure out how to see exactly what people are searching for and what phrases they use exactly when they search for it to kind of optimize how I create my listings in Amazon. And I thought, well, if that's possible, maybe this is the leg up I need, the edge, if you will, to give me, to make me successful. And I wrote a few little scripts and it produced some data and I thought, oh, this might be useful. So I started using it. I started sharing it with just a few of my Amazon seller friends. And all of a sudden they're like, dude, this is golden. We need this. Can we have can we subscribe to your database? Will you send it to us every month? And I'm like, well, sure. And finally, I just put up a little beta website. I'm like, if you like it, just give me your email address and tell me if it's useful for you. And finally, we had like 600 or so beta testers signed up, all for free, no money. And then I realized, you know what, instead of focusing solely on my Amazon business, which of course is a great pathway to success, but perhaps what I ought to do is, in addition to my own Amazon e-commerce business, maybe I ought to look into this as becoming a business. The software I was working on, maybe this should be a business. And so I put up a paywall, I launched it as a real paid service, and it took off, and suddenly now I'm happy to report that I can pay my tuition, I can pay my mortgage. I'm still in my house. They haven't kicked me out. In fact, I'm in the jungle room. But my daughter graduated from college. Everything worked out fantastic. But the good news was, it was really I kind of blame and credit my daughter for being the fire, if you will, that lit the fire that made me kind of get up and realize that I needed to do something to improve my life. And the result of that was a better e-commerce business, but also this fantastic software business that thankfully has been able to help some other folks.
That is to be one of the most powerful motivators for so many people who become entrepreneurs, and especially online entrepreneurs, being able to work from home. I mean, I'm right now, George, I'm in my home in the Austin area. This is a studio we built out. First time I did a video, we could barely afford the stuff on the walls way, way back. To get something started, teaching people how to build WordPress, of all things. Like, how do you do that? And I was, you know what, this is not going to work. Then we started selling on Amazon, found tons of opportunity through that. That started to grow. Behind it all was my wife and my 4 kids. And speaking of your daughter, so my daughter, she just graduated from high school. She didn't just graduate from high school. That was a year ago. I'm messing this up. She is just about to turn 18. So she is just at that age, which is crazy. That pressure feeling you're talking about. If I was to survey all the people in e-commerce and ask what motivates you most, come up as family. People I love, my husband, my wife, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my son, my daughter, people who they love and they want to fight for, and so it gives them meaning. One dime and about partnering with other people with similar mindset is it's not just about making money and having a fancy car. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not against that. Minivan for years before I got a Tesla. Then I got a Tesla and it's really nice. Build my identity. My identity is much more tied in people because people are amazing. People, there's like, in my opinion, if I look at it from a business perspective, there's nothing so valuable in the world as humans. And so that's incredibly motivating. And that relationship, you can't destroy it. For being here and sharing that story, what I'd like to do is just go straight directly to showing how the tool works. So if you could sort of be the sensei and guide me as I go here, I'm going to share my screen. Let me know when you can see it. And just so you know, anytime you're talking, they'll see your face. Anytime I'm talking, they'll see my screen. So just so you're aware. So if you're talking, they can't see the screen. So once you're done talking, then they can see what you're referring to. But you guide me, and I'm just going to go to Merchant Words right now and do it. Okay?
So all I have to do is talk into my microphone and you see my face. I have the power. Ah!
All right, so here we go. I'm going to Merchant Words right now. Okay, so I'm going to type in, let's just say, yesterday we were talking a ton about baby products, so I'm just going to type in baby hamper. Now let's try baby swaddling cloth, since this is exactly what I was training on yesterday. Here, and it's now giving me, and guys, just so you know, this is a subscription version, so you should see the access it gives you to all these different countries, which is kind of incredible. And so it's telling me baby swaddle cloth 6,200. So can you explain this, especially for people who are new to this, what's this mean, the 6,200?
Yeah, I'll get to that in just one second. But first, I kind of want to cover what you see on the page from a top-down point of view. The first thing I wanted to point out is when you type in 3 search terms like that, what that means is we're searching through our database of hundreds of millions of keyword terms for anything that contains both baby and swaddling and cloth. And so the more specific your search is, the possibly fewer variations we're going to find in our database. One of the tips we can try it later. I mean, I'll go through this page first, but then we'll do another search. One of the tips, though, is if you don't have enough variation to give you a lot of ideas, you could try searching for fewer search terms, and that will give you a wider set of search results to kind of examine. So that's
gotcha.
one.
Okay, so if I did fewer, it's going to give me more results because it's just pulling. So if I was just to type in, or here, let me go back and try this. So if I just do swaddling cloth, it's going to search everything with either swaddling or cloth in it, correct?
That's right, except just to be clear, it's both swaddling and cloth. And so it's not a swaddling or cloth kind of thing. It's a swaddling and cloth.
And it could be different versions of swaddling. So we could have swaddle as in here.
Yeah, it'll do automatic stemming. So if you type in swaddling or swaddles, those kinds of things, you'll see the other stems you see the other variations of that stem root word.
Right.
But if you were to put in 3 terms, there in the merchant word search bar, you might see fewer results. If you were to put in 1 term, you'd see many more. The more you put in there, the more focused your search results become. And maybe that's a good thing, or maybe that's not what you intended. But that's how that works. The next thing I wanted to mention, though, is that kind of banner of different countries' flags. And so what we'll do is we'll instantly search through all of our databases. Yeah, exactly right. We'll search through all of our different databases and see how many variations exist in the US, as you can see, and the ones Canada and the rest of the countries there in Europe. And often what you'll see is more variations will occur in the United States. Many will occur in the United Kingdom and Germany. Those are also very popular. And then the rest of Europe seems to taper off in terms of the number of search variations. Now, this doesn't directly indicate any kind of volume. In other words, we're not measuring, with those flags, we're not measuring the number of people in those countries doing these searches. All that number means is the number of variants, or the number of different ways in which those people are searching. Right. In other words, that's the number of search results you'll see inside our database for each of those countries. And then now to finally get to the question that you were asking me, though, is baby swaddling cloth says 6,200 if you look right there, and that 6,200 is meant to imply that approximately 6,000 people, we believe, search for exactly baby swaddle cloth. Now, that doesn't mean that only 6,000 people are looking to buy a baby swaddling cloth, because the other tens of thousands, perhaps millions of people who are searching for a baby swaddling cloth on Amazon, perhaps they use different search terms. They might say swaddling cloth for my baby. They might say infant swaddling cloth. They might just say infant wrapping cloth. I have no knowledge of all the different ways they search in my head. That's why we built Merchant Words, to get it into a database. And so the interesting thing here, though, is that doesn't necessarily measure the popularity of a product. That measures the popularity of one particular search phrase of people looking for that product.
Right. So what I'm going to do, so they can see it, because they can't see the screen when you're explaining it. So here's the US. You guys can see it. United Kingdom, Canada, Spain, Italy. This is what he's referring to. Multiple countries. It's going to give you search results for those various countries. What he was referring to, you could see the baby swaddle cloth, and then here you can see the 6,200 estimated monthly search volume. Where do these keywords come from? Where do they pull them from?
So if anybody is an Amazon attorney, I would love for you to get up and go get a snack right now. That'd be great. You can come back in about 2 minutes. No, I'm just teasing. But what we do is we actually get the data directly from Amazon. And the way we do that is the way that you would do it if you were going to do this yourself manually. If you didn't have the benefit of a computer, if you were going to start experimenting with seeing the different Amazon keywords, you would probably go to Amazon itself, and you'd probably start typing into the search box, and you'd probably start taking a look at the different suggestions that pops down. Well, that's exactly what we do too, except the difference is we do a lot of it. And so rather than spend all day or all year hiring people to sit in front of Amazon typing in letters and seeing what suggestions come out, we've done that hard work for you. I had someone once ask me, he's like, well, if that's all you do, why do I even need your software? I'm just going to do it myself. And I'm like, okay, go ahead. It's a lot of keywords. It's a lot of typing. So you're going to be up all night. But the point is, it's very simple. It's powerful, but it's simple. What we do is we get the keyword suggestions directly from Amazon. And that doesn't tell us much more beyond exactly what the search phrase is itself, except doing that does tell us one thing which is super powerful, and that is the hierarchy of where a keyword first appears. So let me give you a quick example. Imagine you go to Amazon right now, you type I. Well, naturally, that I in the first position is going to return iPhone as a bunch of iPhone-related terms as the suggestion. Well, if you type G as your second letter, what you would see next is things probably related to igloo cooler, I would imagine. Every time I try this experiment, that's usually what comes out, igloo cooler and things like that. And then if you were to type U, what you would see next under U is like iguana pet food or iguana something or other, right? And the interesting thing to me is, if you think about that little example, and I'll shut up here in a second because Seth has the example to show you on the screen share. But the interesting thing to me is, iguana and igloo cooler and those kind of keywords, they could have appeared back when I just typed an I, because they start with I. But the reason they didn't appear is because iPhone is way more popular than igloo cooler or iguana pet food. Now,
Right.
when I typed IG, iguana pet food could have appeared, but the reason it didn't is because igloo cooler, even though it's less popular than iPhone, is still more popular than iguana pet food. And so as we go to Amazon and as we visit all these keywords by typing in suggestions, we not only understand what the exact phrases are themselves, and that's super important, but we also understand where these phrases are in relation to one another. And so we take all of these relative positions. We take the knowledge that iguana pet food is less popular than igloo cooler, which is less popular than iPhone. We take these relative strengths and we put them in a database, and then what we do is we apply a little bit of AI, big data, deep sciencey kind of algorithms to it, and from there we extrapolate what we believe is a reasonably good estimate of how many people are doing that search in Amazon. So I'll shut up now because I'd love for you to recap that and show people the example.
What I'm going to do, guys, if you can you see my screen here, George?
Yep, totally see your screen.
What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to type I. You guys can see it there. And then here, let me go back real quick just to make sure. Okay, I think it turned off. Give me 1 second. You might be able to see it, but I don't know if everyone else can. Okay, there we go. Okay, so watch, guys. I'm on Amazon. I type in iPhone charger he's referring to, iPhone 8, iPhone 7. Now you can see what people have been searching. These are results of what, this isn't what I've been searching, this is what anyone's been searching in Amazon. Okay, this is super popular, this one next, in order of their popularity. That narrows it down even more. Now we have a whole bunch of igloo stuff. Saying, George, if I want to understand correctly, you're getting the words that come up over here. In fact, I'm going to try the igloo one right now. Are from Amazon, the suggestion. What about the search volume? Where are you getting this from? Because I know Amazon doesn't release this data out publicly. Is this coming from Google, or where does the volume come from? I type in igloo. Here we have all the different keywords coming up for the autocomplete on that.
Yeah, that's a great question, and maybe I kind of glossed over this too quickly, but when we visit Amazon, we get the exact search phrase itself, and so igloo cooler, just like you showed a second ago, but the most important thing we get, or I guess equally important, but the very important thing that we get as a result of doing that is we get the relative strengths of the keywords, and that's from Amazon. So for example, visiting Amazon, I know that iPhone's 8 case is more popular than igloo cooler, and I know that because that little experiment I just saw you do. You type in I, you type in IG, and you can see what's more popular. Now that's a data point of 1. I know that igloo cooler has a certain level of popularity, but whatever that is, it's less than iPhone 8 case. And that one little data point I put into our database. And then if you were to type IGU, for example, you would see iguana pet food, right? Or iguana food, or whatever that was. Well, I know now that, however popular it is less popular than igloo coolers. And so I have this hierarchy now in my database where I know that iPhone 8 case, no matter how popular it is more popular than igloo cooler, however popular that is, and I know that igloo cooler, however popular that is more popular than iguana pet food. And so this kind of relationship, we simply just stick into our database. Now I've got 3 little data points. But the thing is, as we visit Amazon, we collect hundreds of millions of these data points, and that's where our custom algorithm comes to bear and says, look, I know the relative positions of all the keywords in Amazon now. I don't know their absolute measured search volume, but I know their relative positions. Now, a lot of our customers, and you know what, let me shut up for a minute because I'd like to have you just kind of walk through that example. So type, I'm gonna mute myself, but then type I, see what you see, type G, see what you see, and then U, and see what you see. And you can see that those 3 things produce sets of results, and we know now, we have a data point where we understand the relative positioning of the strengths of those 3 sets of results.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna do it, guys. You can see my screen, so I'm starting with I. Let me go back to I to see if it, okay, there we go. So I, Saying is you can see the relative strength of each keyword based on the order in which it shows up. Indicating iPhone charger has extremely high demand. With algorithms on the back end, that gives you an idea of the search volume for which people are searching for this term. Now, if I do G, now you can see Igloo cooler parts. So everything starting with IG, this one has the highest demand. Then this one, then this one. And as you mentioned, Amazon doesn't give you the exact search terms. You'd have to use a PPC ad campaign to do it. But with the different data point references, it gives you a ranking. And that ranking helps you to know what is popular. So now I'm going to do you, as you mentioned. And now you can see iguana food, iPad mini, iguana stuffed animal. It's funny, iPad still got in there. We have IGU. You'd think it would all be iguana, but still, Apple still got in there somehow, which is too funny, which shows you the power of their product. So very, very helpful. What I'm going to do, George, to you, and give me 1 second. I'll stop sharing my screen. Questions too. I see a bunch of questions coming in, guys. So let me ask you this. What would you recommend for people who want to build their business online? I know it is, but I want to hear how you explain it. What is so important about keywords and understanding this? Build a business online, and specifically Amazon, that will make the money. Why does this research part matter so much versus just saying, oh, that looks like a fun product to source, I'm going to sell this and make some money? How can you connect those dots for everyone?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. And actually, I want to come back. I'll do it in a second, but I want to come back to what you're saying about PPC. So let's not forget to come back to talk about that, because keywords and PPC, really important topic I want to talk about. But I'll jump in and answer your question right now. Why are keywords so important? Well, gosh, from my point of view, it's like, how could they possibly not be the most important thing? Because what keywords let you do is they let you do like a Vulcan mind meld right with your customer. It lets you look right inside the mind of what your customer is thinking. It lets you understand not only what someone is looking to buy, and that's important, of course, but more importantly is how they want to buy it. So for example, a lot of people will search for the exact same product 1,000 different ways. If someone says, if you're selling a white dress, knowing that a white dress is popular is important because you want to sell a popular product, but knowing how people or why people are buying a white dress is super important. Are they buying a white dress for a wedding, for a picnic, for a birthday party, for like a religious ceremony, for a quinceañera? You know, why people buy a white dress is, and the why will come out in how they search for it. So this is like our way to mind meld with people. This is our way to read minds. This is our way to be like the psychic medium and then like reach out to our customers without even needing to reach out, having to reach out to our customers and understand exactly what makes them tick by looking at the ways.
If really quick, if you went back even 20, 30 years ago, you didn't have the ability to find out what people are searching for tells you what they're thinking. So it really is a way into their mind. Like if someone searches for something online, it tells you what they want. Pet food, they probably have a dog or a cat and they need to buy them food. So it's amazing data. It's telling us what people are thinking about. What people are thinking about shows what they value, and what they value is what they buy. And I encourage you guys, the last video we just did, PPC ad campaigns can do this for you along with these tools. It tells you what people want. And if you know what people want and you're providing them something that they want, that is how you make money online. It doesn't matter what you like. What matters is what they want.
And let me just add a little color to that. First of all, you're absolutely right. But the interesting thing is, let's say that you figure out people want dog food. Fantastic. But how do people want dog food? What are all the ways people want dog food? And you're thinking, well, there can't be more than one way. I need dog food. I buy dog food. I'm done. Dog food. It's not that simple. People search for organic dog food. They search for all natural dog food. They search for dog food made in the USA. They search for dog food made out of steak. They search for dog food made out of 100% beef. They search for all these different things. Now, as I don't happen to own a pet personally, but as I look at all these different things and I get inside the mind of a dog owner, I think to myself, wow, I would never in a million years thought of all of these different things which are important to those people. So I'm not my own customer, but I need to get inside the mind of my customers, and I can using keyword tools and using this kind of insight to figure out exactly, it's like, whoa, I didn't know. I just so happens that I make my dog food here in the USA. People are searching for dog food made in the USA. I need to be more prominent about how I feature made in the USA in my packaging. Now, this is kind of an obvious example because I probably already am featuring it. But the point is, whatever aspect that you discover is important to your customer by looking inside their mind and seeing how they search, that aspect absolutely has to carry its way through to your product. It's packaging, it's marketing, your listing, all of that stuff. That's how you connect.
There was this guy who found a product, and the crazy thing about it is if most people heard what this product was, they wouldn't know what it is. And yet he's making tons of money on Amazon selling this particular product, which I'm not going to share it with the world. It is because this product was in a niche category, a sub niche of a category where the people who did know about it are passionate about it. He's making a ton of money. And that's the other thing, you guys, with keywords. Remember at the beginning, guys, when I typed in baby swaddling claws, the longer the keyword is, the more specific it is. If you find demand in a longer word, 100 people who search that term on Amazon, the chance of them buying it, the conversion rate, is much greater than if it's more of a generic word, just like cloth. I'm trying to rank for the keyword cloth. What kind of cloth? Is it a washcloth? Is it a cloth for babies? Is it a cloth for adults? Like, what is it? Is it cloth for a dress, for a blanket? If you are, the rate's going to be if there's a demand for it. Now, here's the other thing. Of course, there's going to be less volume on a longer keyword. Rather have 10% of 100 searches turn into, and have 1% of 200 searches turn into a sale. Until keywords matter. Now, a little bit of experience with merchant words. One thing I love about it, ideas on things that I never thought of. When I typed in baby swaddling claws, if that's what I was selling, George, I see all these other ideas coming up. And maybe one of those ideas is baby swaddling claws, baby swaddling claws. It starts to make me think in different ways that I otherwise would not have thought. Thinking, wait a minute, there's a way I could possibly make my product more unique than the rest. The rate is higher. What do you guys find people using merchant words for most? Are they using it at the beginning of, are they doing it more after they've launched it to try to optimize their listings? People using it.
Well, I'm constantly surprised at the different ways that our customers use our product. A large percentage of our customers are people who already have an existing product. They've decided on what they're going to have manufactured. They've got it into FBA. Maybe they've already created their listing, and now they're wondering, like, what can I do to optimize listing? What can I do to tweak it? And that's a great use for keyword data, you know, no doubt. And I'm thrilled that we have those kinds of customers, and more power to them. And I want to say, in fact, a lot of our customers, they think that they need to build a listing, optimize their keywords once, and then now they think they've figured it out and good. I'm good. Thanks very much. Well, that's not it at all. Yep. You've got to keep going over and over and over. But that's kind of one tranche of our customers. And another segment are people who are looking for product ideas. They want to come up with, like, they want to go through this interesting process of product ideation to see if there's an opportunity here somewhere. And a lot of times they'll find out what people are searching for. They'll do another some corollary research to see, oh yeah, it's popular, but it's so crowded already. A lot of people manufacture it. It's not in a segment I want to be. Doesn't fit my personal lifestyle as a merchant where I don't want to be selling it. I had one person identify a great opportunity for jewelry to people who were wife swappers. And I'm like, what'd you do with that knowledge? She's like, well, I didn't really want to go after that market segment because it's a lifestyle that's not really compatible or I don't agree with. And so I'm just going to leave that as it is. But it was an interesting discovery. But anyway, the point is that people use our software to optimize an existing product. People use our software to ideate, come up with new product ideas on products they haven't taken yet. And then kind of the third area is some of our people aren't, customers aren't even online e-commerce sellers at all. What they are like SEO, marketers, content marketers, and they're just interested because, you know, there's this huge world of SEO tools, and we don't really share any data with them. We don't pull any data in from Google. We don't use Google's algorithm at all. We're completely separate from Google. We focus entirely on the e-commerce platforms. And so the SEO crowd is kind of interested in looking at these other keyword tools, which base themselves on a different data set. So a lot of times we'll see people are just pure marketers, and they want to get a good intelligence about how people are shopping so they can bake those phrases into their content strategy.
I love the illustration of keywords are matchmakers. So if someone is looking for a microphone because they're going to do a podcast, and you have the shopper, and then you have the microphone over here, the only way the two can meet. So if I go online and I search on Amazon microphone or podcast microphone, keyword is going to be needs to be connected to that listing, and so that's where the transaction happens. So understand keywords, everyone. In my opinion, you understand 30% need to know about Amazon. Now that might sound like a little bit of a bombastic statement, but it's not. And keywords, you can run PPC ad campaigns. As George mentioned, you can optimize your listing. You can find products. It gives you differentiation ideas. System, product. The system doesn't know that you're selling these super cool headphones. They don't know that. Well, it doesn't say, oh yeah, it's Blueness, but all it has is the data you put in. And so if data is wireless headphones for gaming, for example, okay, it's gaming. And if that's what someone in Ohio wants and they type it in, they find it. This is the number one most important thing I need to master on Amazon or e-commerce in general. Keywords. Why? Because keywords reflect what people want. It's what they're thinking, and what they're searching is what they're going to end up buying at some point. The longer that keyword is, the longer tail, the more specific it is for the keyword. So guys, keywords are super, super important. Question, I'm going to ask you this one, George, because it says, Maricel says, is the discount offered in the link below, is it for life until I cancel?
Great question. And the answer is yes. And the reason is, back before I even started this as a company, I promised myself, I said, look, I've got an opportunity to build a company from scratch, and not everybody gets it. Although those of us who have launched our own company, I mean, good for us, right? A little pat in the back. But I promised myself that we would always do things, we would never do anything like the companies that bug me. And when you sign up for an account with DirecTV or the phone company, AT&T, whatever, it's like limited time offer, you get 1 month at the discount or 3 months at the discount. I hate that. That bugs the crap out of me. And so I said, if I ever launch my own company, I'm never doing that. And so partly because it personally bugs me, and partly because I just think it's a bad way to treat your customers. That discount never expires. If you love us, you'll pay $9 forever. If you don't love us, I'll give you your money back, and so you haven't wasted a thing. That's kind of my personal philosophy.
Nice. Awesome. So guys, and just so you guys know, I'm not an affiliate to Merchant Words. I get paid for this. We just want to bring you guys value. So in the link below, I gave you a link. I typed it in that George's team created. It is a discount. It's a just one time discount, and it is for life. Ask a few questions or answer some questions from the chat, and then we'll wrap it up. Quick question, George. Does Merchant Words have API access?
That is a great question. We do get that from time to time. In fact, there's enough user requests for that we're putting it on our roadmap. We intend to build it one day. We just don't know exactly when that is. So maybe what I had to say is not at this time. We have nothing to announce because I don't want to imply that we're going to have that soon. But it is something that we would like to do one day. We don't have it available yet.
Awesome. And guys, I know a couple people chatted this. Let me know if you're having trouble hearing me. I'm just using our super high-speed internet on my computer, nothing techie about it at all. But I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay, or are you having trouble hearing George? Just type in Seth or George, whichever one. I just want to know if you guys can hear me okay. So just signed up with the link. That's awesome, man. Have you ever met Hazmat Amazon's problem? How did you figure it out? How long did it take? What did you do? Thanks for your awesome videos. something we teach in a coaching program. I'll give you a short answer now, but it's something we go much more thorough in on the program itself. A hazmat issue, and it's under the build section, just in case the name here on YouTube, just in case you're in the program already. Issue, what you need to do is submit exactly what Amazon recommends you submit. And if there's anything related to anything that needs certification to show from the factory that shows product, you need to get it directly from the factory. If you purchased it from a middleman, like an agent that's between the factory and you, that we actually have a team in China who needs certifications for your products if you need it. And they work with factories standard provide that anyways, because they should be providing that for you. Yes, I've run into this when selling toys with batteries, and it took me 2 to 3 weeks to get it approved, and I had to submit all the forms. Tim, I'd have to know more specifics to help you out more. Okay, so it's spotty for me. Okay, thank you guys for letting me know. I will find out. Maybe someone's like using major video download or something right now. Oh, that's what it was. Someone was using video, so there it is. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully you guys can hear me better. Surab says this, George. I'm just going to throw it out there. He says there's no good keyword tool for Amazon India right now. What do you think, man?
Okay, so I just promised myself that I wouldn't talk about stuff that's coming out on our roadmap and when we'd release it. So I promised that I shouldn't talk about this, but because it's just us, I'll tell you that we are working on Amazon India. But don't tell everyone, because I'm really not supposed to announce things that we're working on that we haven't launched yet. But India is definitely on our technology roadmap. And like I said, it's kind of obvious, right? Because there's these huge areas all around the world. Japan is another one, and I don't want to go too off on a tangent because I know you're asking about India, but there's these huge areas of opportunity that people just kind of don't seem to be too excited about. And I'm glad he asked about India, because India is an amazing opportunity, right? So very soon. Can't say exactly when, because I don't know when we'll have the data published and ready to go, but it's definitely on our roadmap.
I love what Joe says about how important this is, because we're limited to the number of keywords, terms we can use to describe our products in Amazon. And this goes back to what you were referring to earlier, George. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Amazon has become more and more restrictive about how many keywords you can use, specifically on the back end and on the title. Because they want it to be as natural as possible. They want people putting a bunch of keywords in there to try to cast as wide a net as possible. They want, if someone's really looking for that wireless microphone for podcasting, that's exactly what they're going to get. So as you guys build out your listings, think, what would you search for the same need as your customer? And back to what George said earlier, that's why you need to understand your customer. So for example, I might search for wireless microphone for podcasting. Someone else might search for it for music, and someone else might search for it for online video chats. 3 different reasons, and those mics are going to have different components to them based on their use. So it's better to rank for a keyword that says, if you're podcasting, wireless microphone for podcasting, because then if someone searches for that, the chances of them buying are very high, because they already want it. They've obviously done the research. They know that there's a difference between the microphones, otherwise they wouldn't have searched for it. But if someone just types in wireless microphone, them already knowing exactly what they want is less, because there's less knowledge put into that search term. So back to what Joe said and what George said, guys, make sure you find your top 6 to 7, what I like to call power keywords. Use those to build your listing. And as well as what George said, you're going to always be changing your listing, optimizing it bit by bit. Now, if you do a drastic change on it, what will happen? It has to re-index it, just like Google does with their crawlers, and your ranking will drop like crazy. In other words, your BSR will go up like crazy. So you don't want to do drastic changes where you completely gut it and redo it. You want to do, once it's ranking and it's going well, you want to do little changes. That way it doesn't have to re-index the entire thing, especially the title. So when you get it, do it at the beginning, make sure you do it right at the beginning. On our Just One Dime team, you guys, we use 7 different hacks to help you get your the first page of Amazon. Now, can I guarantee it'll be on the first page? No, that would be wrong. That's unfair, because that depends on your work. But we provide the knowledge so you potentially can. Just this morning, one of our coaches chatted in our coaches team. Someone just launched his product. He's now doing 15 sales a day, expecting to get up to 25 very soon. That's awesome. What we're looking for, and that's what we're constantly providing content like this. But on our team, we're going to take you 10 times deeper and show you step by step exactly how to do that. George, thank you so much, man, for being here today. Really looking forward to having you at the conference, Just When I'm Conference in Las Vegas. You go to the conference, the summit, is Just When I'm Summit. You get an opportunity to meet George, be speaking there and talking way more in depth on this kind of stuff about keywords. George, is there any last words of advice, encouragement you want to offer the people right now who are watching?
So first of all, can't wait to meet you all at the summit. And Seth is absolutely right. I will answer any question you have. I'll spend hours chatting with you about different keyword strategies. I love to meet folks in person. In fact, if you're ever in Los Angeles, let me know. I'll take you out to lunch personally and we can chat. But can't wait to see you in Las Vegas. I'm really excited about that. My parting shots are, remember to keep your customer as the focus of everything you do. Don't try to stuff keywords. Don't try to come up with every synonym in the world about what you're looking for. Keep what's important to your customer as what's important to you, and you'll fly right along the same strategy. I mean, Amazon wants to optimize their experience for their customer. You should want to optimize the experience for the customer as well. Understand your customer and your profits will grow. And my last bit of advice is keep on keeping on. I don't know if you got success right away with the first thing you tried or if you got success with the 100th thing you tried, but what I know for sure is there is so much opportunity for success here in the e-commerce space. Keep on keeping on. It's been my pleasure. Can't wait to see y'all in person.
Awesome. Thank you so much, George. And everyone, again, remember in the link below the video, you can get a Just One Dime discount on merchant words. I don't get paid for this, just so you know, and I'm not against it, and I would tell you if I did, but we believe in providing you real content, but it's lifetime discount. If you choose and you say, Seth, I want 4 hours of live coaching every single week, Just One Dime team as well. Between that and merchant words, you have an arsenal to absolutely crush it out there on Amazon. Thanks again, George. You guys have an awesome day. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, 2 hours live training. All the Just One Dime coaches are going to be right here, and we're going to train you guys for 2 full hours. All the Just One Dime coaches will be right here. Exciting. And we have a special announcement as well. We're going to save it for them. Thanks again, Brother George, and have an awesome day.
My pleasure. Bye, everyone.